can I take any questions?
Can you talk about the Mescal fire? What's the distance between the two fires, and where's the level of concern, if any, that they might merge at this point?
Okay, the Mescal fire is just on the edge of the map. It is on the east side of Highway 77. It is 3 or 4 miles from 77. We are in the 8 to 9 mile range on the west side, heading toward 77. If our plans go the way we hope they will, our fire will not reach the highway, and neither will the Mescal fire coming from the west. So we're hoping that doesn't happen, but if it does, it's because of the biggest problem with this area is what happens when it hits the Pinal Scar. The Pinal Scar was 4 years ago. There has been some fuels come back into the area. If our control features are not capable of stopping the fire, then the next step is probably Highway 77.
Do you know roughly how many people have been evacuated? We've heard people, 5,000. I mean, how many people?
I do not have that number.
Wouldn't mind taking just a step closer to the microphones, actually. So walk me through again. So it's going to the Pinal fire. Is that, I'm trying to decipher what you're saying. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
It is a good thing.
Okay.
When the Pinal fire came through, it reached the conifer forest on the top of the mountain there, and so it burned the underbrush in there, and that kind of reduces the fuel for this one. We've also got several issues up there with electronic sites. There's 2 major electronic sites up there, and our goal is to keep the fire out of those electronic sites.
For the Miami area and top of the world, has the concern stayed the same over the last 24 hours, or?
The area, the fire has pretty well moved through the top of the world area. And the Oak Flat Campground and the associated properties associated with that, it has moved past that. It's moving into the central and western, eastern part of Miami. We're hopeful that we can keep the fire out of Miami and also out of the Globe communities.
Have you had any structures destroyed yet?
There is a concern that some structures have been lost, and we're in the process of investigating that to see what the extent is. We do not have specifics on that at this time.
Can you elaborate specifically on that area? We had heard a member of the state legislature perhaps lost a home southwest of Miami. What area are you hearing?
Well, that would be in the top of the world area, and we have heard that concern too, and we don't have the specifics on it. We're in the process of tracking that down.
And what is that process involved?
We have people going out and actually doing an inventory of the site and seeing what burned, what structures burned.
And so, just to be clear, so it can't confirm or unclear officially if or how many structures.
Yeah, we do not know what structures were burned, and so we're not at liberty right now to just, talk about it.
Is that just the nature of the climate out there? It's just unclear exactly what has burned because of the brush in the area, or just where the houses are?
Well, the kinds of folks that investigate the fires that's pretty much the Sheriff's Department's responsibility. It's not our firefighters that do that, and so it takes a while for them to get out there.
So what is happening today? What's the game plan today, and what's the area of biggest concern?
Okay, the biggest concern today is what is happening in this part of the fire. There are folks stationed all the way around the fire, but the biggest concern is we refer to it as a catcher's mitt, with the control features that we've created and the fire scar from the Pinal fire. We're starting to prep that, and our success today, and probably will indicate how successful we'll be in keeping the fire, this side of 77.
There's a lot of people watching this who live in Miami and Globe. What's the message to them? How concerned should those folks in Miami and Globe be about this fire reaching them?
Well, it's still a concern. There's a lot of fire out there. We have a lot of firefighters, staged throughout this area. And for the most part, this area is looking fairly good. That's what we're confident, to some degree, confident that we'll be able to keep it out of those communities.
So as you've described, the areas where you've stopped it from going into the Arboretum, you've stopped it from going into Battle Axe, why is it still at 0% containment then?
Containment is based on no future growth. And so while we've kept the major heads of the fire from, it's been tempered, we still have potential for fire growth out there, and so it usually takes a day or two before we're willing to start putting black line on the map saying this is controlled fire.
And just can you talk one more time just about the terrain and the conditions that your crews are experiencing?
Okay, this is steep rocky terrain. The fuels are conducive to fire. We're dealing with an underbrush composed of manzanite and scrub oak, and as you get into the higher areas, ponderosa pine. Manzanite is highly flammable. It conducts fire very well, and so we're dealing with a fuel model that it wants to receive this fire, and so our goal is to create our fire lines and keep it from, and with our burnout operations, keep it from advancing any further.
Any plans to change from go orders to set orders in certain areas?
I have not heard of any at this point in time. Our success along this area has kept the sets going to go, and so I'm hoping that we are successful in keeping that way through this area here anyway. This is where we're having the greatest success.
Along the 60.
And that's been a focus.
So how long has it been since any of this terrain has burned?
Well, I'm not sure about this general area. I'd say that 2017 was the last major fire in the area, and that was to the east of. We're burning into it, but it's to the east of the fire currently.
So there's been no prescribed burning,
No.
no preventive burning.
Not to any great extent.
Have you had any issues with people flying drones in the area?
Not that I'm aware of. The drones can be a real hazard. We have a number of aircraft working this fire. We have what they call scooper planes, which are actually going to Roosevelt Lake, picking up their water there and bringing it back to the fire. We have the heavier air tankers, and then we have 3 heavy helicopters that are more spot specific on the fire. But you put one of those drones up, and it pretty much grounds all air traffic because we don't want to lose one of our aircraft. And we're pretty vocal about telling folks don't fly when we're over the fire. We have a flight restriction over the area, and we'd appreciate people honor it.
How helpful is it to have the lake there and then have the slurry pickup? So
Well,
close
the
to the basin?
Roosevelt Lake is there's lots of water there, and then say the scoopers can operate on it. That's one of our problems in the Southwest, is having a water source like that. So we're fortunate that water source is there. It greatly enhances our ability to fight the fire.
And then they're getting the slurry from Mason.
What Mason Gateway, yeah, is where the slurry base is, and that's your larger air tankers. And slurry has there's a difference in the properties of slurry versus water. Slurry has an agent in it which retards the growth of fire. Water, of course, will dry out, and then the fuels will burn. The retardant product that's in the slurry that the heavies deliver does coat the fuel and slows the fire down. It does not put it out. Okay, that's it. Thank you for your time.
And did we get your first and last name on there? Apologies.
Dean McAllister,
How do you spell the last name?
McAlister.
And what's your position?
I'm a fire information officer.
With the Southwest area type 1 team.
Yeah, for the Telegraph fire in the Southwest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So where is your operations based out of?
Well, the team is a collection of folks from all over. I live in Tucson, but the team has members primarily Arizona and New Mexico. They're a regional team, and so our folks come from most places. And we've got people from from outside that state area.
Yeah, we met we were covering this later fire last year.